Welcome to a lesson with Dr. Powell. Okay, we're going to have some fun and talk about how we can count with polynomials. First, let's look at a couple polynomials multiplied together. 1 plus 2x plus 3x squared plus x cubed. And let's multiply this to 1 plus x plus 2x squared plus x cubed plus 2x to the fourth. Okay, each one of these polynomials we're going to consider as being kind of like a committee. Call this committee A and committee B. And given these two committees, we're going to see how we can pull people from committee A and pull people from committee B to create a new committee, C. Now, let's suppose that we want committee C to have 3 people in it. Now, that's our goal. So we want committee C to have 3 people. Committee A, our options for pulling from committee A is we have the possibility of pulling no one. That's what this represents because we have x to the 0, and we have one way of pulling 0 people from committee A. We're going to call the exponents lengths and the coefficients frequencies. So one way of choosing 0 people. Now, this one would be 2 ways of choosing 1 person, 3 ways of choosing 2 people, and 1 way of choosing 3 people. So 3 ways of choosing 2 and 1 way of choosing 3. And then accordingly, we also have a similar type of choosing schematic for committee B. So we can choose, these are our options and how many ways there of choosing those. Now, we don't know exactly, I haven't written down what those options are, but we are just supposing that there's only 3 ways of doing 2 and 2 ways of doing 1 and 1 way of doing 3 in this particular committee, set up maybe according to some rules of configuration somehow. And then similarly for committee B. Now, how many ways are there of finding 3 people? Kind of what we're looking for is we're looking for a coefficient frequency. How many ways there are of making a committee of 3 people? A coefficient of what? X to the 3rd, where 3 will represent people. How do we find this? Well, the way that we compare options of something from here and something from here is done perfectly in the distributive property of multiplication. In other words, you multiply these 2 polynomials together, and the coefficient in that multiplication of x cubed will be your answer. So it'll tell you how many ways there are of finding 3 people to make a committee based upon these rules of pulling from committee A and committee B. So how do we do that? Well, let's multiply the polynomials together. Now, one way of doing this is we can simply think of normal multiplication between whole numbers. The same algorithm that we use there works for its distributive property, works the same way for polynomials. Think of powers of 10, but instead of powers of 10, powers of x. So it'll work the same. Let's illustrate. Let's take this polynomial right here and write it with the 0th power, like 10 to the 0, the ones place, you could think of being first. So in reverse order from the way I've written it. So let's think if we have the ones place, and then we have the x place, the x squared place, and the x cubed place. And similarly, we can write this down, 1, 1, 2, 1, where I'm only writing coefficients. Just like you would write the coefficients of 10, 10 squared, 10 cubed, and so forth, when you just work base 10 in writing a whole number down. So here, and we do regular multiplication algorithm, same way. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, and so forth. We get 2, 1, 2 for the first line. Now over here, multiplying by x, that shifts everything over a power. Because we multiply by x, it moves the exponent of x up 1, so we'd start writing right here. So 2 times 1 is 2, 2. Basically, just multiplying 2 to this whole line. So 2, 2, and the nice thing is we never have to carry here because we don't move place values at all, like between powers of x. We just stay in the same place. So it's actually a little easier. 2, 2, 4, 2, and 4. Okay, next line. Let's do basically just triple that whole line. So we could think 3, 3, 6, 3, 6. Then we just have that whole line there. Notice we're shifting over 1 each time. We move one place value over here. Just basically write down this line 1 times it all, but just shift it over. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, our question is, we've actually done more than we needed to here, because really what our question is, let's think about this. We have constant, we have x, we have x squared and x cubed. We really only needed to do anything to this line. In fact, in general, we can do that. We can just draw a line down, and then every time we want to move past it, we just skip it, and we don't have to do any of this work writing these out. Then it makes our work go very quickly, and we can write this down fast. And notice that all we're looking for is the coefficient of x cubed. So then we only add these. And so this could go fairly quickly, thinking about that. So only adding these, we end up having 9. So there are 9 ways of making a committee with 3 people with these given conditions. 9x cubed. Thanks for watching.